Welcome to Reelfoot Lake. My name is David. I'm the Ranger Naturalist for West Tennessee State Parks. Was the Ranger Naturalist here at Reelfoot Lake State Park for over 20 years. Started in 1986, so I've spent a lot of time learning about and enjoying Reelfoot Lake. So join Cody and I today to learn a little bit about the bald cypress trees. Reelfoot Lake is really known for the bald cypress trees. When you visit the lake, much of the lake is a flooded forest literally filled with cypress trees. For those not familiar with the lake, Reelfoot was formed by the great earthquakes of 1811 and 1812 when a large area of land sank and filled with water, the flooded forest, and then another area rose. So a very complicated earthquake history, which is an entire other program. But today we're going to look at the cypress. You know, doing research on the cypress, I didn't realize how widely distributed they actually were. Up the East Coast, they go all the way to New Jersey. I was surprised at that. All the way down into Florida, of course, Louisiana, Mississippi, North and South Alabama, that's pretty common. Across into Texas. Also kind of surprising, they go up into the edge of northeast Oklahoma. Didn't really know that. And then up the Mississippi River Valley, all the way to southern Illinois, southern Indiana, north of St. Louis. But Reelfoot is filled with cypress trees. Some of them fairly old. All of this area was logged by the mid-1800s, but individual trees were not cut. So we don't have any old growth forest here. We have old growth trees that were never cut. During my research, one of the things that I read was you could get a rough age on the cypress trees by measuring them above the buttress. Like if you look at this big tree coming up on the right, you have a huge buttress where it comes out of the water, but then it gets up to kind of normal size. Well, when you measure a cypress tree, you measure above that buttress, not the swell. And they say that roughly a cypress tree will grow 1 foot in diameter, which is through the tree for 100 years. Circumference is around the tree. So some of these trees we're looking at and going through are easily 200, 300, 400 years old. Some of the biggest cypress trees on the lake are pushing 500 years old. Now, one of the questions we often get are the woody projections sticking up out of the water around the bottom of the cypress tree. Those are called cypress knees, just like your knee. Maybe because when you're walking through this area in the dark, you're constantly hitting your knee on them. Had a student one time that couldn't remember knees, and she was calling them cypress ankles. I thought that was kind of amusing. They really don't know the purpose of the cypress knees, though. They help provide support in shallow water. Just kind of a fun fact, cypress knees typically only form in areas that are flooded and dry. If it's wet year-round, these deep water cypress trees at Reelfoot from the earthquake don't have knees. When you take a cypress tree and plant it in your yard in a dry area, it can live and grow, be just fine, but typically it doesn't form knees. Also, the cypress is in the conifer family. One of its closest relatives is actually the redwood. So it loses its leaves in the winter. So that's one of the reasons they're called bald cypress. Reelfoot Lake is a great place to come and see cypress trees. Great place to get out and enjoy nature. As we begin to open state parks back up from this COVID virus that we've been dealing with, plan a visit, come and see us. We have 56 great state parks in Tennessee. Reelfoot's one of them. The best way to experience Reelfoot, to see the trees, to see the lake, to learn about all the things here, is to take our pontoon boat cruises. And typically those go May through September. This year we're still waiting to see, so just check keep checking on our website so we'll know when we can get started with the pontoon boat trips. We also do canoe trips, kayak trips, photography trips, all kinds of other activities. But Reelfoot's a really special place. The cypress knees are one of the things that make it so special. So from me and Cody, thanks for joining us for a few minutes. Hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Reelfoot Lake and the bald cypress.